Good day, guys. Bramblebeard here. 28 Delta on the Microsoft Flight Sim program. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit of how I set this plan up for the other video when I did the 200-kilometer Corn Alps tasking that I created here in the B21 Task Planner. So I'm just learning this stuff. This is pretty new, trying to get the feel for how it all works. Maybe I'll do another video on how the whole process of it working. But this was the first successful task I guess I've done, and it was kind of a long one. If you watch the other video of the actual flight, is about 2.5 hours long. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. So this is going to be a little bit of a quicker showing of what it looks like on the planner, and then the after action that you can get from it. So here I am starting at Lux Airstrip, ready to tow. And we can zoom in a little bit since this gets a little clustered in here for now. Things I have learned about doing the tasks, I think it may be useful to at least put the task starts a little bit further from the field, as well as at least offset from the runway directions, because I was almost worried that I was going to trigger the start point on the tow out. Didn't, luckily, which is good. But something to keep in mind for future designs. So instead of pushing play and watching this through, I'm going to do it with the mouse here so we can kind of keep an eye on the data down here. So pretty uneventful tow out. Microsoft Flight Sim tows don't do a whole lot. I am running the Got Friends Wilga tow with the Got Friends free discus glider, so that's just keep that in mind, and it works well together. Wind presets, weather presets were the Sim Soaring Club strong with strong thermals with a 5-knot north wind coming from the north. So there you have it. I wanted to keep the wind a little bit lower because this is flat ground soaring. I didn't want the thermals to be too chasey. But they still were, as you see in the video. But anyhow, the tow was pretty uneventful, and got off the tow at, let me see, what do we got here? What was that? Where's my feet? 4,500 feet, roughly. Above ground level was 3,300 feet, so that's good to know there. First thermal, pretty close to that. Didn't take us too far, but got up another 1,000 feet or so, and went ahead and tried to get to the start point to get the things going. Got the bloop, and went through the tasks there and carried on. I wanted to try, let me zoom out just a touch now that we're further out here. I wanted to see if, I'm still learning this glider, so I don't know how far I can get on a given altitude without a lot of lift, which this thing is pretty efficient for what it is. It's really good. It's a nice modern glider. It's no open class thing, but it still works really well compared to a vintage glider, and it does well. From there, we get back to this. Heading towards waypoint 1, I did find some decent lift there. It was more to maintain at this point. As you can see in the graph here, I didn't start climbing until quite a bit later. So we covered a lot of ground, and that was waypoint 1 ticked there, but I had to go back to some clouds to try to get some lift out and try to maintain that, and it pretty just maintained, and I decided just to go ahead and bolt for waypoint 2, which will move the map here. This is where it gets really interesting, and this is where I found some stronger lift, much stronger lift, and I finally got up to cloud base and worked really well there. So once we did that, then it was pretty much just a matter of maintaining that altitude and trying to keep some speed in between waypoints. So this is where some really strong lift occurred. We got this thing. This thing was rocking and rolling, as you'll see in the video. Finally getting to this thing here. We rode that thing for a long ways. We got up to about 11,000 feet there. yeah, just over 11,000 feet, which was basically cloud-based. We couldn't go much further than that without going into the clouds. So that was cool. And then was able to jump off to waypoint 2. And then at this point, it was just cloud streets maintaining the altitude there and trying to maintain that. Let's go and move this up here. I kind of designed this waypoint based off of a hang glider video that I saw. Not in this area, because this area is actually very common for paragliders and hang gliders. It's called the Corn Alps. I don't know if they do much sailplane tasks up here, but I imagine they do. So this is kind of a design for that, but the scale of it is a little bit more catered to sailplanes because we can travel a lot faster. So from there, I went ahead and just basically maintained and rode the clouds. As you can see in the graph here, I didn't lose a whole lot of altitude. It was very, very consistent, just bouncing between clouds and catching a little lift here and there, and finally got moving. There was a couple longer gaps, like this one here, where I started descending quite a bit. And then I had to divert because there was nothing between waypoint 4 and waypoint 5 really to get lift, at least visually. So I had to follow the weather and move along the road here, and that's when I climbed back out to 11,000, and then from there it was just a bolt to waypoint 5. And once waypoint 5 was ticked, the same situation here. I had to kind of divert away from the track to follow the weather, and which was fine. Had a couple long runs there, and then climb out here or there. But it was mostly straight line lift, bouncing from cloud to cloud, as you'll see in the video. From there, it was a matter of darting over to waypoint 6, which I did have to. I was looking for lift. There was a really good cloud moving just east of the waypoint that I was going to try to bump onto. Then I decided to just go hit waypoint 6 and then come back to that cloud, as you'll see here. And I just dumped up there, and I had a lot of altitude at that point, so I figured let's give it a try to bolt our way back to the finish line here. Did catch a decent little thermal there towards the end. But again, I had a lot of altitude and knew I had to come down to land. And let me move the map here a little bit closer so we can watch this. And then so I was able to hit the finish marker there. I mean, I was still at 8,000, almost 9,000 feet when I hit the waypoint. So as you'll see in the video, it was really tough actually finding the airstrip because it was a little bitty grass strip in the middle of grassy farms, and it took some kind of looping around to figure out where it was. And once I got a beat on that, then it was no problem to make my approach and land, and which was uneventful. So that's a really cool way to do this. It's something that you can record and you can actually document your flights, as well as you like WeSimGlide has a archive of these flights that other people can fly and try to just beat your time basically. Which my time on this wasn't probably, it could have probably been done a lot faster. Just getting used to this particular glider and what it's able to do is taking some time, and I'll probably fly this again at some point to see if I can do it a lot quicker, because I know I can. It was just me looking to get to cloud base and try to have security, which I designed my waypoints based on bailout fields, so you can, if you wanted to fly this with live weather, it would probably be a very important thing to have the bailout fields, because we do know that there is some discrepancies in the simulator that for lift creation and things like that. It has to be hot for good lift to be created, so we kind of crank it up a little bit higher than what's probably realistic. I do like flying in live weather just to see if you can. Yeah, it's just kind of a thing. But the weather presets that are available through the Sim Soaring Club are really good and work pretty well for this stuff. Same thing with the ridge soaring, which we'll do in the next video. I'll probably do a ridge video next, just because it's a little bit more entertaining than flying over flat farmlands. But This was a great test to learn how to use the plotter or the task planner to make my own task and then actually bring it into the sim to see it on the flight instruments and then actually be able to fly it and then see the actual waypoints get triggered. It's a really cool experience. It's going to be fun. This is more of a test flight to make sure I know how to do this because they do some really big group events. I mean, huge group events in the sim where there's a bunch of pilots and they try to do this thing as more of a race, but as well as just for fun, which is nice because I'm not super competitive with this stuff. I just like flying gliders and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, hope you like watching. Hopefully this is a neat little breakdown of how this thing looks and works, and a little flight analysis debriefing of the video. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one, and we'll probably do some more videos on this as you know, to actually show you how to set it all up. See you in the next one.